Is the sheep preaching hate? It says, I'm not going to let the wolf eat me anymore. If the wolf comes in here, next time he comes in here, I'll do whatever I have to do to keep him off my back. Is the sheep violent or
All right. Man, I didn't even know that I was gonna be on here live today. Listen, yeah, I don't know what my internet has dropped out. So the biggest thing is that, well, they sent out a memo saying that they're gonna be working on the Wi-Fi. So hopefully I'm coming in clear. Y'all dropped some sevens or ones in here. I see I got a few of y'all up in here, huh? My backup. Okay. I don't know how reliable it's gonna be, but we're gonna see. We're gonna test this thing out today. I see so far my intro didn't even want to play, so it'd be a good opportunity to test some of these things out to see if some of my favorites are gonna do what they supposed to be doing. You know, some of my joints.
I'm just about that action, boss.
You ready to go get it. You just like to do it.
That's what it is.
We just bought that action, boss. No, but as far as this intro goes, I don't know. Let me see. The file is large. It's a 4K video. It's like 60 whatever, milliseconds, whatever per pixel, whatever. You know what I mean? So one of the biggest things that we were talking about, okay, was the fact that Biden is sending over this $1 billion, y'all. And on the other live, which it dropped out because they're working on internet service, I guess. Is that where are they getting this $1 billion from? I was doing a whole deep dive, like I said, on X, and I really was coming across some really good information. I'm finna share that right now. Matter of fact, here, let me do it like this. Boom. That way you guys I can see what the hell's going on too. All right. So we see what's happening, right? We see what's going on. I believe they're just kind of trying to drop a nuke in the White House before they leave. I think they're really just trying to just destroy everything and then just go ahead and take off, right? Hold on, I'm not in the right format or setting. Wow, there we go. And then that's the main objective, is just to go ahead and just toss a grenade in the White House for Trump to have to clean up. Is the biggest thing. I'll be doing these deep dives in in X. Okay, I'll be going to Twitter. I'll be doing a little deep dive on all kinds of different things, seeing what's trending. You know what I mean? And even this right here, you see what I'm saying? They're showing the difference between Ukraine and the U.S. right now, as far as the U.S. being flooded and Ukraine being living lavish, looking real good right now. I mean, they're supposed to be at war right now. I mean, it should look like shit over there. Well, over here in the U.S., especially in North Carolina, we are suffering. Honestly, North Carolina is in shambles right now based on the hurricane. And as you can see, Ukraine is looking beautiful. It look like a place I need to go. Shit. They definitely don't look like they in war over there right now. It's looking mighty clean, it's looking beautiful. And here's Biden saying he's sending over $1 billion to Africa.
You know, that's the right thing.
Hopefully
for the
y'all can
wealthiest
hear
nation
it.
in the world to do. And today, I'm
know
announcing over $1 billion in new humanitarian support for Africans displaced from homes by historic droughts and food insecurity. We know African leaders and citizens are seeking more than just aid. You seek investment. So the United States is expanding our relationship all across Africa, from assistance to aid, investment to trade, moving from patrons to partners to help bridge the infrastructure gap. I was told, by the way, when I got elected, I could never get an infrastructure bill passed.
Can't make this up. I don't know if you guys
right
can hear this. Drop a 1 in the
nation
chat
in
if
the
you can
world
hear
to
this
do.
video.
And today, I'm announcing over $1 billion in new humanitarian support for Africans displaced from homes.
Okay. Has no place in Africa, which is a good thing. Listen, brothers and sisters in Africa that's getting $1 billion. Listen, they are deserving of those funds. They deserve that money. Them brothers and sisters in Africa deserve it. Y'all know that they've been over there getting raped and pillaged, enslaved, or for their resources for decades now. And it's been unfortunate, but it's been true. The leaders over in Africa have not really been standing up for the people as much as they should be. And they have really been allowing their country to be absolutely destroyed by other countries for pennies on the dollar, right? And for no respect, no honor. You understand? You know, when African people can go to China and not receive any respect, you know, when they're over there, then you know that they don't respect the country. They don't respect the country that the African people come from. You understand what I'm saying? Or else they would not put them out on the streets during COVID, or they would not treat them like they weren't like they were less than human during COVID or during other situations, right? That just lets you know what type of world power Africa truly is. Nobody really has any respect for Africa because the leaders do not take in control of that country and demand respect, demand honor. And I'm not saying it based on my own observation. For me, outside looking in, I'm saying it because I've talked to plenty of African people that come from Africa, y'all, that are from Africa, from the motherland. And they say exactly that their leaders are too weak to stand up for them and fight for them and what they deserve. That's the whole issue. Now, when they receive $1 billion from America, what type of stipulations does that come with? What are they looking for? What type of resources? Because you know the cobalt and all these other things that they use for cell phones, right? To make your cell phones, to make your electronics, things like that come from Africa. What are they looking to receive from Africa in order for them to give that $1 billion? That's what I really want to know. What is the stipulation? You know, because Biden, he ain't gonna do nothing unless he's gonna be able to reap a benefit from it. You understand what I'm saying? He is not going to be sitting there signing off on no $1 billion if he's not going to receive a kickback. And we know this for a fact. Old sleepy Joe, right? Old creepy, old sleepy Joe. Shalom, brother. Amen. Welcome in, brother Reggie. Welcome in. All the rest of you guys who are here, welcome. Bless y'all. Old creepy Joe is not going to sign off on no $1 billion that he's not going to receive a kickback on. And as you can see right here, we got North Carolina. People are living out of tents. People are living out of other means, right? Trailers and things like that, because their homes were destroyed, right? Because their homes are completely destroyed, and they have been, right? I'm not too sure how long it's been. We announced $1 billion, right? We announced $1 billion to help people in Africa. And we have sent hundreds of millions of dollars recently to Ukraine. But look at how we are living in North Carolina, here in the States. And it ain't nothing wrong with that. It ain't nothing wrong with that, pointing that out. It's like a lot of people say, when you see people doing something wrong and you're saying something about it, they try to make you an enemy. They try to make you a problem because you are having the issues. They try to call you bitter. They try to say that you're upset. No one's upset. No one's bitter. We just want better. You understand what I'm saying? We want things to be better. We want people to do better, right? Especially people that's in leadership. So for Biden to make this move without even coming down here to help or assist these people right here, right?
So you have to pay for that yourself?
Yes.
That's over here in North Carolina. For him to go and give all this money over to Africa without assisting them a little bit, right? Without doing something to help these people is huge on his character. It really shows you what type of time he truly was in the White House. What was he really doing in the White House? Bro wasn't doing much of nothing really, besides showing displays of dementia. I remember I was playing chess with this guy because I do a lot of online chess playing, but this guy was over, I believe, in Ukraine. No, he was in Romania. I was playing this guy, and he was from Romania, and he was speaking highly of Biden. And I told him, I said, nah, Biden is a moron. Yeah. And it seemed like he was pretty upset by it. Hold on, guys. Hold up. Give me a sec. I'm like, all right. Let me get back up on here with y'all. Am I back? I am back. All right, cool. Let's go. Yeah, this is a live out of nowhere, y'all. So you know what I'm saying? We're gonna go ahead and write this thing out. My thing is this, right? From what I'm seeing,
Housing is the biggest issue, and red tape. Families left in tents and RVs because of the permitting process, he says.
Next week, temperatures are going to start getting in the 30s at night. We're afraid of more hypothermia, folks that are living in the mountains, and there's probably going to be more bodies laying around if we don't start getting these.
Yeah, more bodies laying around. They said it's probably going to start being more bodies laying around if they don't act quickly, right? So obviously, there's been a few people that may have passed away from this thing. I haven't really been keeping up too much up to date with this whole storm or hurricane that took place over in North Carolina, but it sounds like it was, or it looks like it was very bad. I just jumped on here on X. I don't watch the news, y'all. I don't keep up with what they say on the news. I just choose not to put that in my spirit because they like to sell a lot of bill of goods. That's the lies. Okay. So I stay away from that. But, you know, I haven't really, once I got on Twitter here, right? Once I got on X and started doing a little bit of research, a little deep dive, and Africa was trending. And I just decided to click on Africa and see why they were trending. And just to find, North Carolina was struggling here. Not only North Carolina struggling, but Biden just recently sent over $1 billion to Africa. But like I said, it ain't that my brothers and sisters over in Africa do not deserve this $1 billion. They do. Their resources have been siphoned and pillaged from them for decades now. And then I believe that their leadership should have been making a push to add for a demand for respect of Africa, because Africa has natural resources that simply the rest of the world does not have. They are definitely a world power who's being treated like they're babes, or they're not even relevant, right? They need to be more assertive in this market. They need to be more assertive when it comes to other individuals, because not only do they have the largest amount of resources, not only that, all the countries within Africa need to be thinking about one umbrella. I believe they might have some organizations formed, but they need to truly try to unite each other. If they all try to unite under one umbrella and form their own army, then I believe that they would definitely be a real problem. But, much like most melanated people, we're so divided that we can't demand that type of position, of authority, for the simple fact that we just can't get along. And that's the biggest point. It's simple fact we can't get along well enough to be able to establish a government like the U.S. And it's crazy. But I also believe that that's workings of also CIA agents, of other governmental entities who do keep the conflict to where they aren't able to unite, because that's also another job of our beautiful CIA, that everybody respects and loves so much, right? Is to cause controversies and to create conflicts. Now that's the reason why you do have the MLK situation going on, where he was assassinated, not on the balcony, right? He was shot on the balcony, but he was assassinated and murdered in the hospital when they smothered him with a pillow. Okay. And same thing with Malcolm X, when someone just randomly shoots him. We come now, they're putting out movies about this guy who was undercover working with the CIA, right? It's the same thing with Huey P. Newton, with CIA agents, with that, the CIA agents have been a huge influence on our communities, right? Especially the melanated communities, Black communities. The CIA agents have been a heavy influence on those communities. You can go all the way back to the drug days, right? Where they're pushing, cocaine, crack, coke, mostly crack, through our communities. It wasn't our own people. It was the CIA agents who promoted it and pushed it to our people. It started with them. How do you think that they're getting guns in Chicago? A lot of the times, a lot of these individuals that's in Chicago is talking about that they're choppering them in, that they're dropping them off and allowing these individuals to purchase them through these particular entities. That's what a lot of people in Chicago is saying that they've seen take place and they have been a part of. So it's like, they don't want certain things, but you can definitely tell if you pay attention, right? Chicago with the highest crime rate. They call it Chirac. Not only that, people are really out to just really murder each other, but I believe it's, of course, designed to be that way. They want it to be that way for a reason. A lot of times it's usually to make money or to control the people and control their minds, their mental state. So when we're seeing a lot of this stuff, right, and we're noticing that they're talking about this stuff, right, especially Elon Musk and the rest of them, right, they're talking about, of course, the hurricane that took place. They're talking about all these different things. What is it doing to promote? What are we promoting, right? Because me personally, I don't care that Africa is receiving $1 billion of fake money. It's not backed by any gold or silver. It holds no tangible assets. The only thing I really care about is that how are they getting those funds to them? Are they giving them $1 billion of their own money? Are they giving them $1 billion of taxpayers' money, so-called taxpayers' money? And if it's taxpayers' money, then you have to understand that your social, your birth certificate, those things are the thing that is funding this $1 billion. Meaning you are the collateral to help fund not only Ukraine, but also Africa. Okay. All these wars that they start, they fund it, but they fund it based on you. You're the asset. You're the material that they're using for collateral. Okay. Your birth certificate, your social. That's how they get this funding. There's no other way for them to get it unless they put you up for collateral, meaning your performance, what they projected you to earn, no matter what that is, right? It could be earning on a job or earning in a jail cell or a prison. Whatever they feel you're going to be producing, right? Same thing with your children. If they're in school, public school, that's the reason why they get so upset if you do not put them in school or if you're not having them in school. It's because they lose money, they lose funds, right? And not only that, they're not performing, right? The asset ain't performing like it's supposed to if it's not in public school, okay? So, this is the reason why they're able to get the funds they're getting. They're putting your name, your social, right, your birth certificates up for collateral to be able to take and withdraw this intangible asset, right? Because it holds no real it holds no real. It's not backed by any gold or silver. It's really just fake money. That's the reason why they can just print it out of thin air. That's the reason why when you go and you listen to some of these moguls, right, who are millionaires or billionaires, whatever, and they say, why would you save money when they printing money? They say, why are you saving money when they printing money? And they go on to say, like, if you're going to save money, you need to put that in something tangible. Like you need to put it in the stocks. You need to put it in bonds, something that's going to continue to grow and increase your funds, increase your money, increase your wealth. If you put it in a bank and put it in a savings account, it ain't going to do nothing but sit there on a negative 1%. You know what I'm saying? It's barely going to do anything. A lot of them don't even grow. You don't really see any real growth coming from your savings account. But the moment that bank goes under, there's all your savings. It's gone. Everything's gone. So, but once you're able to put it into something that's more tangible, like stocks, bonds, things like that, and you start to see something going south, you have an opportunity to control it. Most of these banks ain't going to give you a fair notice. Hey, we're about to go into bankruptcy and closing down. They're not going to give you notice. They're just going to shut down, take your money, and keep it pushing. Okay. That's the only thing that's going to happen. Where you can do your own due diligence in the stock market. You can do your own due diligence with crypto, right? And you can be able to see what's rising and falling so you can make the proper decisions for you and your family. Okay. And then that's what that's what the most important thing is, right? Something that's going to help you grow your wealth on a high rate, but also it's going to give you some good warning as to when it's going to fall. So you can be able to move it around if you need to move it around. Something that's a lot more reliable than a bank, right? A bank is going to completely, me personally, I don't even like to have debit cards. You know what I mean? A bank does not care about you being wealthy. A bank only cares about you either storing up wealth in their bank, right? Or taking out loans. If you take out a loan, then that's fine with them too. But they don't really care about anything outside of that. They don't want you to be financially successful and independent. They prefer for you to be, one of these people that's in the warehouse. You understand what I'm saying? In the rat race. You know what I mean? So that's one of the biggest things, right? Where you got children like this that's over in North Carolina trying to figure out where they're going to sleep at, trying to figure out where they're going to be at. You got $1 billion being shipped over to Africa with no aid going over to North Carolina. Now, is this judgment coming from the Most High Yah? Yes, this is judgment coming from the Most High Yah, right? He is judging, and he's judging certain regions. He's going to continue to judge, okay? It's going to continue to be a judgment because I don't hardly ever hear a North Carolina having problems with hurricanes, okay? Let's just keep it a buck. How many people have actually heard about North Carolina having real issues with hurricanes? Shalom, bro, Nick. Bless you. Welcome in. I've not heard. I have not heard North Carolina having any real issues, okay? But for some reason now, they're having problems, okay? For some reason. And you got to only say that, okay, judgment from Most High. Gotta be. You understand what I'm saying? Because they don't typically have problems with hurricanes. Now, since they are having problems with hurricanes, what is the plan to be able to help solve the issue coming from our intergovernmental system? What's going on with FEMA? Why are they saying things like
will be delayed until Congress provides additional funding for the disaster loan program? We understand how frustrating this delay is.
What did you think when you heard that?
It's been we already have it so rough, and to not be able to get the financial and help that we need it's really awful.
Some just down the road have it even more awful, living in tents and small RVs with no power as winter approaches and temperatures now dip into the 30s.
There's times we don't get fresh meat because there's no way to keep it cold. Because you got to choose between heating the house with a generator, especially the ones who have kids, and keeping the food cold.
Wintertime's coming. These folks cannot be forgot about. Just because you don't see this on TV, don't just go away. This is not going to go away for a long time. We got to get those folks out of those tents and in those FEMA campers. How's it going to happen?
A lot of the locals I've spoken to are particularly upset about a FEMA compound they say is much nicer than the donated trailers that they are staying in. It's hard to see, but this right here, I'm going to slow down, is the entrance to the compound. There's a lot of security. The public can't go in. We drove up onto a hill behind the compound for a better view, and you see how massive it is. A sea of government trailers. It's so organized and secure, so different from how the people we met are living here.
FEMA's not connecting with the county's not connecting with the state, and you got this big rat race.
Volunteers like combat veteran Robbie Ammons say housing is the biggest issue. And red tape, families left in tents and RVs because of the permitting process, he says.
Next week, temperatures are going to start getting in the 30s at night. We're afraid of more hypothermia, folks that are living in the mountains, and there's probably going to be more bodies laying around if we don't start getting these.
Yeah, so that's the biggest thing, right, with this whole situation, is we got Africa's getting $1 billion, y'all. You know what I mean? Hallelujah, good for them. They deserve it. I'm going to say that again. They deserve it once more. You understand what I'm saying? Because people have been really getting rich off of Africa. I'm talking siphoning and just pillaging their resources, right? The natural resources in Africa. However, they still fail, right? The Biden administration still fails to address the issues currently here in the States. They still fail to address them, y'all. They still fail to address the issues of homelessness, right? The issues with migrants, right? Coming over here and being homeless and committing crimes. They still fail to address a lot of these issues, but they're sending $1 billion over to Africa, sending another few hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars over to Ukraine, right? Funding that war. They got Russia that's beating down the door, right? Beating down the door, talking about using nuclear warfare. Okay. And just before the Biden administration took over, the Trump administration was in office, and you heard nothing of any of this. None of this was taking place. None of this was going on. It's the moment that Biden took office, now that you have withdrawals coming from Iraq, and they abruptly leave billions of dollars worth of equipment and ammunition and all kinds of things to the individuals over in Iraq who are the Al-Qaeda. They leave billions of dollars of equipment and ammunition to them, right? Brand new stuff, right? Brand new firearms, things like that to them, and just withdraw abruptly out of Iraq. Maybe the war wasn't being very profitable to them because there was no real true war in Iraq. There were just peacemakers or peacekeepers, right? During the Trump administration. And then you go into a Ukraine versus Russia situation. Russia goes over to China and gets in bed with China and in India, right? And then they form their own corporation called BRICS, so that can be able to fund different countries to help build up their infrastructure. Then they're taking shots at the American dollar to get that thing to crumble and fall, okay? Because they want to raise up the Chinese yen, right? And this is all the things that is taking place soon as the Biden administration takes office. This is everything that just literally takes place as soon as the Biden administration takes office. And it didn't take long. That was in a matter of months. It went by like that. Like, it was just very quick. You blinked your eye and everything took place. Vengeance is mine. That's right. That's right. Shalom, Mama Clay. Welcome in, welcome in. That's right. Yep, says the Elohim, says the Lord. Hallelujah. That's right. But all of this stuff is going to come to a certain halt, right? Because of the simple fact that none of it's going to really play out. Now, once the Trump administration gets back into office, we'll see how far they're willing to take things, right? We'll see how far Putin continues to go. We'll see how far Ukraine continues to go as their leader is leaving Ukraine, coming over to America just to raise funds, right? Just to do a fundraiser. As you know, we take a look at how Ukraine is looking right now, y'all. Like, let me see if I can find a post. I'm doing a deep dive over in X because X, you know, they give you the raw truth over in X, but be careful because it's filthy over here. So you got to be careful because it's a lot of stuff that they do. Okay, so here it is. It's a lot of stuff that they do over in X that honestly I disagree with, but Elon Musk is like freedom of everything. Okay, so be careful with what you're doing and what you're looking up. Protect your ear gates and your eye gates. However, okay, so this is Ukraine and the United States. And you see how clean it is, and then you see the U.S., I'm sure that's North Carolina that they're showing that's flooded, completely underwater, as opposed to Ukraine, which is looking fantastic, nice and pristine, clean, but they're supposed to be at war, y'all. I guess they're keeping that war in certain areas, you know, just away from the wealthy people. Okay, just keep the war away from the wealthy people, y'all. You know, you can fight, you can battle, do whatever you need to do, but just keep it away from us. You get what I'm saying? But that's one of the biggest things, y'all, is that it's sad to see this taking place, right? How they're more willing to send $1 billion to Africa, but won't even go around the corner to help out people who are homeless, or people who are homeless right now due to the situation that's going on in North Carolina. You know what I mean? From the hurricane. It's like they just okay. Priorities are totally mixed up, and that's usually kind of what happens when you have a certain administration in office. Now, I can't say that it's always Democrats because, you know, we had, I believe, Bush, right? George Bush in office when the whole 9/11 terrorist attack took place. And we find out that that's just was an inside job. You know what I mean? He was a Republican. That was a complete inside job. So it's like, you know, and then we later find out that that's an inside job. So it's like, you know, it all depends on who's willing to be bought and who's willing to be sold. You know, that's what it all depends on. It all depends on who's willing to be bought, and that's just about it. So, but I just really wanted to come on here and share that with y'all, like how I didn't know if you guys knew that Biden was sending this over, but that was about 4 hours ago when they released this, that Biden has sent over $1 billion, or is preparing to send $1 billion over to help Africa build homes, things like that, right? Build homes hit by a natural disaster. Okay, so Africa was hit by a natural disaster as well, and they're sending $1 billion to help Africa, but they're failing to send any funds. As you heard FEMA say that Congress has not given the orders for any funding to go over to North Carolina. Congress has not given
one of
the
the
orders
hardest hit towns. We lost our home due to the hurricane. We're getting barely any help.
Nice to meet you.
I met Sarah outside the trailer she's living in with her husband, 2 kids, 2 cats, and 2 dogs. Like almost everyone here, their home was destroyed and condemned, and they also lost their cars and their jobs.
Everybody that I've talked to says they're getting no help.
Their trailer was donated by a volunteer, not FEMA, and they have to pay for their own porta potty.
had to rent this so that we would even be able to use the bathroom.
So you have to pay for that yourself?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's $130 a month to rent one.
Sarah's one hope was U.S. Small Business Administration disaster loan. But then she got this voicemail.
This is a call from the U.S. Small Business Administration about your SBA disaster loan application. Due to a lapse in congressional funds, new loan offers will be delayed until Congress provides additional funding for the disaster loan program. We understand how frustrating this delay is.
What did you think when you heard that?
It's been, we already have it so rough, and to not be able to get the financial and, help that we need it's really awful.
Some just down the road have it even more awful, living in tents and small RVs with no power as winter approaches and temperatures now dip into the 30s.
There's times we don't get fresh meat because there's no way to keep it cold. Because you got to choose between heating the house with a generator, especially the ones who have kids, and keeping the food cold.
Wintertime's coming. These folks cannot be forgot about. Just because you don't see this on TV, it don't just go away. This is not going to go away for a long time. We got to get those folks out of those tents and in those FEMA campers. How's it going to happen?
A lot of the locals I've spoken to are particularly upset about a FEMA compound they say is much nicer than the donated trailers that they are staying in. It's hard to see, but this right here, I'm going to slow down, is the entrance to the compound. There's a lot of security. The public can't go in. We drove up onto a hill behind the compound for a better view, and you see how massive it is. A sea of government trailers. It's so organized and secure, so different from how the people we met are living here.
FEMA's not connecting with the county's not connecting with the state, and you got this big rat race.
Volunteers like combat veteran Robbie Ammons say housing is the biggest issue, and red tape. Families left in tents and RVs because of the permitting process, he says.
Next week, temperatures are going to start getting in the 30s at night. We're afraid of more hypothermia, folks that are living in the mountains, and there's probably going to be more bodies laying around if we don't start getting these.
So that's the biggest thing, right? He's saying there's probably going to be more bodies laying around if we don't start getting these things going, right? Meaning there's people who are passing away from this stuff, right? Now, that's more research that I need to do on that. If there's a body count of people passing away from these conditions, I'm not too sure about that just yet, right? However, because I'm just getting abreast on this story, and I just thought I'd bring it out and share it with y'all, just honestly in a split-second decision. But, I want to do more research on that as well to see how many people have actually lost their life in this situation, right? But we have $1 billion to help with Africa and aid them in building homes, okay? Which is crazy. But we can't do anything for
just
North
so much hurricane
Carolina at this moment, right? And then where we have FEMA camps, right? Who it's not even being occupied. From the looks of it, it looks like it was pretty clean, and they were trying to mobilize something to where they can be able to help some people get into some of those homes that they have set up. But it seems like that since he was saying that the county is not really communicating with FEMA, and they aren't all on the same page, so it's hard for them to move forward. That's an obvious thing, right? It's obvious that that's what would happen if you have poor communicators. Will be done. Yep, that will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Absolutely. But we're going to see more and more situations like this, because I believe that the Most High is going to continue to judge certain regions, and he's going to continue to bring this upon us, right? But also upon other countries. I believe that he's going to continue to judge. Now, with Africa, like I said, they deserve it. They deserve help and aid, right? Not just helping aid to rebuild homes, but helping aid just to build their infrastructure, period. They deserve it because that's where all of our natural resources, majority of all of our natural resources come from. And they treat Africa like they are just nothing, right? Africa is actually a world power just based on the resources that it's able to give to all countries, not just one, not just three. to all countries. All countries really go to Africa and lean on Africa for natural resources. They treat Africa like they ain't nothing. And like I said, it's because of their leaders over in Africa do not demand for them to be something. They fold and they allow them to be pushed around, right? They allow them to be pushed over. But it's the same thing that happened during the international slave trade. During the international slave trade, the people were more concerned about being, I guess, sharing, right? They were more concerned about other things other than going to war, right? Other than fighting for their freedom. You understand what I'm saying? So that's a lot of things that overtook them, is that they weren't concerned about fighting for the freedom, right? And keeping under other individuals out of their country. They were more concerned about receiving goods, right? Like firearms, things like that can trade with. So they trade a lot of them for that. But, you know, they're just the constant folding under pressure, right? They should be given that $1 billion, even if they don't need help building homes in Africa. They should be having that 1 billion. They should have 1 billion from each country that goes there to siphon resources from them, making them an actual world power, because that's what they truly are. Africa has resources that US want. Absolutely. And that's exactly what I was saying. Like, what's the real angle here? What's the real goal coming from Biden? Because Biden's not going to sign off on something that does not line his own pockets. Okay. He's not going to sign off on this $1 billion if he ain't going to get a kickback. So what's the real kickback, right? Not only for the US, but for Biden and his family directly. Okay. Because if you think that these people take office and they are not doing things that will help benefit and line the pockets of themselves and their future generations, then you're absolutely wrong. Okay, you're dead wrong. They are doing these things to line the pockets of not only their own pockets, but also their future generations, right? And there's a reason why a lot of them take this office of presidency, right? It's because they want their generations to be established as well. When you have George Bush, okay, George Bush was in the oil business. Him and his father and his family was in the oil business. They started that war with Iraq, right? And blamed Saddam Hussein and them for the Twin Towers being collided with, right? The 9/11 attack, the terrorist attack on them, so they can be able to go over there and get that oil, okay? So they go over there and get that oil. If he can command the troops to go over there and get those resources, that's exactly what they did. They went ahead and it was an inside job. They staged it. And they went ahead and went over to get that oil from them. Now, they were a perfect target because Saddam Hussein and them, they were looking to back their currency with gold and silver, much like Omar Gaddafi and a lot of the other ones who they have assassinated, right, over the years, because the moment they said, hey, we're going to back our currency with gold, with tangible assets, with gold and silver, the moment they said that was the moment that they lost their life, okay? That's the moment that those leaders lost their life, is when they said that. It's not that the money isn't there, it's the corruption amongst leadership, government in Africa. A lot of those dollars are spent amongst themselves. And absolutely, that's just how Africa runs. That's how they operate. That's how they function, right? And it's just kind of what they do, you know. And this is coming from people who are African people that talk about it. I'm just talking about it, their situation with them. And they're like, this is what the country is like. You go over there and you feel like that you're going to be extorted. Okay, like, so that's just how the country is. That's how they operate and run. In order for Africa to thrive, the government has to change and do more for their own people. The money is there. Yeah, it's definitely there. They have to really just start to push more of them being a world power. They got to start flexing that muscle more. They're too busy thinking about other countries and what they're going to do and pleasing them, right? And pleasing other countries when they need to start flexing a little bit of that muscle and start letting these people know who they really are, right? Which you know, at this point would be understandable. You understand what I'm saying? But really, who really needs this cash, right? Who really needs this 1 billion is the US themselves. The US here in the States, We need that more than anybody. Honestly, we really do. Our homeless crisis is crazy right now. We need to do a revamp on our credit system and being able to help with that situation, because that right there gives people, it makes it difficult for people to have an opportunity for living. Okay. We need to do a revamp on that. But also we need to introduce the credit system into our youth, into our school systems. That should be a main curriculum. Okay. A main curriculum should be understanding how to utilize how to do proper credit utilization, how to do that. Not only proper credit utilization for the youth, right? But also for business, understanding credit utilization for business credit. All of this stuff needs to be taught while you're still in elementary, all the way up to high school, also in college. These things that help you throughout life: personal credit utilization, business credit utilization. These things should be taught to you before you even come out here and think you're an adult. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of our people in our community, the melanated community, okay, a lot of them don't know nothing about credit. They don't know shit about credit. So once they come out here and they get started in life, right, where their counterparts, right, European counterparts, they already have established credit. Okay. And some people that come from Africa as well, you have them as well who understand the credit game. Whereas to where the people are melanated people, right, people that's been here in the States, black people, do not understand credit. They do not understand credit utilization. They don't know how to build and capitalize on credit for their future generations. They don't understand how to build their child's credit while their child is still a baby, right? And building their credit up until they're 18 years old. They don't understand how to do any of that, right? We don't know that in our community. So when other countries of people, right, come over to the States and they start getting all these credit loans for business, right? And they start getting all these thousands of dollars to build a business. And then next thing you know, they sitting on racks and they got generations, right? And they got things they can pass down, right? Generations, they got all this wealth now. And they look at black people and they say, well, they're lazy, they're lethargic, they're too complacent in what position they hold. They only complain about the slavery, they only complain about Jim Crow, and they don't take advantage of all the resources that the US has. That's the reason why, is they've never truly been taught. You've come over and you've got it handed to you. Whereas to where black people have to go and get that and seek that information out. We have to retrain our people. Not only that, the constant years of programming. Oh, you got people standing in line for the new Jordans that's about to drop. You don't think that that's psychologically programming them to think that material things are of value more than gold and silver? That the next Jordan that's about to drop, if you ain't got it, you're going to be talked about at school. Whereas to where their European counterpart got on some Skechers, right? That they've been wearing for 2 years now. You get what I'm saying? But they got thousands and millions of dollars in the bank while you sitting here worried about $150 pair of shoes that your mama had to go broke for. So they can get you so you don't have to be clowned at school. You understand what I'm saying? It's the mindset that's being taught. It's the mindset that's being taught and that's being perpetuated within our community that's keeping us behind, that's keeping us lacking. You understand what I'm saying? Other communities don't have the same mindset. Africa has something the U.S. wants. Yes, they will tell you that the government is coupled. That's why so many relocate to have a better life. That's why so many, they relocate here to have a better life, because of course they have a lot and they send money back to Africa to their families so they can, establish things over in Africa as well. That's usually what they like to do. U.S. is in a $1 trillion deficit. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. We are trillions of dollars in debt, but we somehow have found $1 billion to send to Africa, right? And I'm gonna try to wrap this up here soon, because I believe Brother Nick over at the Message Sent is going to be coming on live. He's going to be coming on live. It's going to be 6 p.m. Central. Okay. So y'all go check out Brother Nick at the message sent. I will pop his up here. Pop his channel up here. He's going to be coming on live as well. I believe it's live with my other brother at 6 p.m. I believe 6 p.m. Central. All right. So I'm going to wrap it up here soon. But my thing is this, right? When we see these things and we know, like, hey, we trillions of dollars in debt, we're going to take another $1 billion and give it to Africa. It's $1 billion that we don't have. Like I said before, if the U.S. had a credit scoring system, right, like much like their institutions, because it's not a governmental institution, but they're corporations like TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Okay, these are all just companies. They're private institutions. They're not government-funded institutions. They're private institutions. If they scored the U.S. on a credit score, what do you all think the credit score would be for the U.S.? What do you think it'll be? I'll give you guys some opportunity. I'll give y'all some chance to drop in the comments. On the scale between, I believe the lowest you can have on credit is 300, and then the highest is 850. Okay, what's the credit? What is the credit of the U.S. going to look like? You know, if they scored the U.S.'s credit, mind you, of course, we're trillions of dollars in debt, and I believe that we're the only country who has this amount of deficit to capital. You understand what I'm saying? I believe that we are. I have to do a little bit more research on that. But what do you guys think that the credit scoring, what would the credit score be for the U.S.? That's what I want to know. Hallelujah. Below -0. Bless you, bless you. Yes, sir. 100. Yeah, they are going to be down in the bottom of the barrel. They're not going to be doing anything great, y'all. It's going to be, you know, if the lowest is 300, they're going to have the lowest. We're going to have the lowest. So how is somebody going to be judged? The U.S., the intergovernmental system, don't even understand how to manage its own money. So my thing is this, right? The banking system is their structure. That is their structure. That is their system. The intergovernmental system and the banking system work hand in hand with the Department of the Treasury. You mean to tell me you're going to save money with somebody who has poor 100? You're going to trust them with your money. You're going to trust saving your money in a bank account. You're going to trust that. You're going to trust that that's okay when they can just pull the plug whenever they feel like they want to. I'm telling you, because it's happened many times before, especially during the time of the Great Depression, right? When the U.S. had to bail itself out of the Great Depression, that's when it formed itself as a corporation. So the U.S. formed itself as a corporation during that time. And they sold the U.S. to the international banks. I'm talking, this is the Rothschilds. This is the high, you know, the elites own the international bank. Okay. They sold the United States to the international banks. This is the reason why they created this money system that we have right now here today. And they told the rest of the American people, hey, you guys need to turn in your gold and silver certificates, right? By, I believe it was June 5th, right? You need to turn this in by June 5th. Now, they enacted this policy, I believe, by April 1st, right? April Fools. April 1st, they put this notice out, okay? And then they enforced it, and it needed to be done by June 5th, okay? So, but before then, what did we do as our money system? You know how a lot of you individuals may have a mortgage right now. We operated as a banking system. Like me, myself, I would loan you some money. I would be called a discount house or a private banker, okay? We would loan each other money, right? We would go to each other and give each other like shekels of silver, a gold and silver certificate, right? Meaning you can take this and go cash it in and get actual tangible assets from it. But that system didn't allow the government to thrive, to flourish, to be able to grow bigger, right? Which plunged us into a depression because we got to trade, right, with other countries in order to even grow even more, right? To sustain our spending habits, to sustain our money system. Okay, we got to do some trading. We got to do some bartering. But if the intergovernmental system is broke, how they gonna be able to trade? How they gonna be able to barter? They ain't got no money, so they had to take the money from the people. They had to take the money from the people, and the money was the gold and silver. That was enacted back in. It's called the That's right. Yep, I meant to say corrupt. No systems in place for the African. They gave enough to Ukraine. Give us our reparations. Absolutely. Gave enough to Ukraine. They definitely need to give that in. So that's the biggest thing, right? And so since they did, right, since they sold the U.S. to the international banks to bail us out of the Great Depression, they sold us into that, and they created you guys, me, myself included, because I have a birth certificate and social that I've taken control over. But with that birth certificate and that social, it makes you products of the U.S. Okay, so every product, right, every child that is born in the U.S. is now a product. It's cattle. You can be able to go to the international banks and say, hey, I just had this many children born in this country. They are going to produce this amount of work. They are going to produce this amount of labor. Even if they're in a prison or jail system, they're still going to produce, okay? They're going to be in this prison system, and they have to work. They have to do free labor. A lot of times it's pennies on a dollar, okay? And the state is getting paid for that. So they're still going to produce. They're going to produce this amount of doctorate degrees. They're going to graduate from this amount of schools by now. This is what they're using to go and get whatever they want from the international banks. Okay, they're using you as collateral. And like I keep saying, whoever wants to come and collect on that collateral for trillions of dollars, who gonna come collect on that? Who they gonna send to collect? And if we're collateral, are they collecting you? What are they collecting really? Because there's no real tangible assets. I don't know what happened to all the gold and silver, but once we gave it all to the intergovernmental system, we never seen it really again. The dollar bills that you see right now, that you're holding right now, was temporary, okay? Pursuant to HJR 192. If you look it up, that was for temporary use only. I will look it up right now. HJR 192. It's for temporary use only. But they saw that the system worked so well that they decided just to keep it in place. They decided not to give you your gold and your silver back, okay? And that's the biggest thing. HJR 192-192. And then that's what created your money that you see now, your dollar bills. Now, this is one of the things that Congress passed to create money, the banking system, right? HJR 192. Now, this is a good read, guys. I'm just looking this up on the fly. What could really benefit you guys right now? You know, reading HJR 192, okay, House Joint Resolution 192. This is the resolution that they came up with. You see here, by June 5th, the United States gold standard in the United States by June 5th, okay? This resolution suspended the gold standard in the United States by June 5th, 1933. Didn't I just say that? Didn't I say by June 5th, right? April 1st is when they asked you to turn in all your gold and silver. Now, by June 5th, that's when they suspended all gold and silver certificates and transactions. I'll give you an even better read. Okay, HJR is crazy, right? But let's read an expert. Let's do an expert witness. This guy right here, what's his name again? Okay, affidavit of Walker F. Todd. The affidavit, right, of Walker F. Todd. Okay. The affidavit of Walker F. Todd, y'all, is crazy. Okay. Affidavit of Walker F. Todd. You got to read this whole affidavit because this affidavit will teach you how your money system works. He's a man who worked in the Department of the Treasury, right? Or for over 2 decades. Okay. And the money system that he describes it very well. Okay. This was one of the things that I used in my court case as an exhibit. Okay. I didn't use it as like a witness or an expert witness or anything. But I use it as an exhibit in court because this was an expert witness describing how money truly worked. Okay. And it was just crazy. I had to read this thing like at least 10 times before I actually understood what it meant. Okay. Psycho, yeah, Psycho Ranger. Bless you, bro. The most important parts of this affidavit that you would always want to read for comprehension is going to be sections. All right. If you don't know what GAAP is, right? Generally accepted accounting principles. If you don't know what that is, you need to familiarize yourself with GAAP principles, okay? And that'll give you more of an understanding what money is, what finances is, how all of this works, okay? That'll give you a better understanding. If you read GAAP, okay, you'll understand why we do what we do, okay? Why are they blocking this out? Oh, they trying to get me some ad. They trying to get some ad revenue. See, everybody trying to get some ad revenue, y'all. Everybody trying to get a little bit of monetization. You know what I'm saying? I want to see because I'm trying to just read this and it's just frozen now. Okay, here, let me go to another one. Let me see if I can get another one to pull up. But subsection 6, 7, and 8 of affidavit of Walker F. Todd. If you have not read the affidavit of Walker F. Todd, it's a great read. Read subsection 6, 7, and 8. Those are the huge takeaways for how your money, what your money is and how it operates. Listen, y'all hear that? If y'all can hear it, man, let me know. Because let me see. I can probably do it like this, right? Now, let me see. I'm going to do it like this. Stop here just to be sure. Because this is important. Now, the affidavit of Walker F. Todd is crazy. And, you know, like I said, it's going to teach you a lot about how the money system works. Let's play this video.
Brought in a professional witness to talk about the mortgage alleged debt, right? And the allegation of the debt is based upon whether there was actually any money loaned to the homeowner by the bank. And so the expert witness, Walker F. Todd, if you want to scroll down to the first highlighted part, we've got his credentials. I don't remember exactly what they are, but he worked for the Federal Reserve Bank. I know that.
He worked for the Federal Reserve Bank for over 2 decades. He worked for the Federal Reserve Bank for over 2 decades, and he is the leading expert at the Federal Reserve Bank, meaning he teaches everybody else what money is, how it works, what's what, this, that, and the third. He's the one. He's the guy that they call if they need to know anything, okay? This is Walker F. Todd. How'd they get him to write this affidavit? Humble man, obviously, right? 20 years. It's been past 20 years. He still was at work, okay? So over 2 decades, they got this man to be able to write a commercial affidavit. Now, let me explain the Walker F. Todd, right? These people, right, were in the middle of a lawsuit behind a mortgage. So what they did is they drafted a negotiable instrument. Now, if you don't know what a negotiable instrument is, you need to look this up. And then when you look it up under a uniform commercial code, okay? UCC, a Uniform Commercial Code, and then get general definition of what a negotiable instrument is, and it will get a very accurate depiction as to what a negotiable instrument is. Now, if you don't know what a Uniform Commercial Code is, and this is going right over your head, begin to dig in and look it up. Okay, do your research, and you will be able to see how the American banking system is right here, a hairline away from collapsing and crumbling. You understand? This is the reason why they are, because the way that the banking system works is not, it don't stand on anything. Is literally is fictitious. This is a fake system, and that we're all not only murdering each other over, but we're kicking each other to the bottom of the bucket in order to get to the top for something that's completely fake, that's not even real. They don't even hold any tangible assets to it, right? So this is a fractional reserve system, banking system. All right, so what they were doing is they drafted a negotiable instrument for their mortgage to pay their mortgage off completely, right? Because they found out that they truly were the ones who purchased the home, not the bank, right? So what they did is the bank, whoever the mortgage lender is, got them to sign the mortgage. Once they signed that mortgage, they took that deed, right? Or they took the mortgage contract and they transferred it over to a bank. The bank took the contract with your signature on it and gave it to the Federal Reserve. Now, the Federal Reserve says, hey, I need 10% down in order to satisfy, let's say, $400,000 home. In order for me to satisfy this $400,000, okay? And so the bank says, okay, 10%. So 10% is 40,000. All right. And the bank gives them $40,000 to get that 400,000. Okay. Now, the Federal Reserve gives them that freshly printed $400,000 in acceptance for the 40,000 of IOUs. Okay. $40,000. Okay. So they accept it from the bank. The bank then opens up an account in your name and tells you that you owe them $440,000. That's plus the interest. Okay. This is what they do. And they pay off the home and give you, and now you've become a glorified, I'd say, housekeeper. Okay. A glorified housekeeper for something that's not yours to the bank. Okay. Based on whatever they feel. Now, a lot of the language for the banks have changed. Okay. Because before 1933, before then, they would request lawful money. Okay. Now, lawful money is gold, silver. That's lawful money. Okay. And which we still should be using lawful money to this day. Okay. According to law, right? We still should be using lawful money and not legal tender. Legal tender is the dollar bills that you see right now that holds no intrinsic value. Okay. So back in those times, back before 1933, the banks will request lawful money in order to satisfy any debt. Now, what they have written in your contract is that until fully satisfied funds are completed, okay? They don't ask for any form of currency. They don't ask for legal tender. They don't ask for lawful money. You understand what I'm saying? They don't ask for any of these things. They ask until you fully satisfy whatever they're asking you for, until it's fully satisfied. So that means you can, any form of currency you can really give them, because they're not specifying any form of currency. Now, within this particular court case, the bank that's dealing with these individuals, right, who are in court for this mortgage, they used the legacy definition of money, meaning they were requesting them to pay in lawful money, meaning that whoever took out this mortgage for $400,000, they would never be able to satisfy the debt because they never gave them gold and silver. With these people being well-educated individuals, they realized that that was a part of the contract, and knowing that the bank would always own their property. They will never be able to satisfy the debt because they have never given them lawful money. They've only been giving them legal tender. So what do? They draft a bill, right? They draft a bill or a credit note, and then they go ahead and they try to cash that in and pay it off using a negotiable instrument. that's backed by the Federal Reserve. So that's what they attempted to do. The bank didn't want that. So that's what got them in this position that they're in now. They were upset about that. But really, who was trying to get over on who? The bank was trying to get over on these people saying that they wanted legal tender rather than fully and finally accepted funds. You get what I'm saying? Are saying legal tender. They said they wanted lawful money, meaning they would never pay off this home. It would never been paid off. Hopefully you guys are following me here, right? The bank was really trying to get over on these individuals and putting it into the contract that they want lawful money. And since the gold and silver has been suspended here in the United States, they would never, ever be able to exchange lawful money, which is gold and silver, for this home. It would never happen. It's just so they were trying to get over on them. So they had the affidavit of Walker F. Todd to help establish the truth in the matter. This is a witness. He's an expert witness who worked for the Federal Reserve. Okay. So hopefully hopefully I was able to lay that out well enough for you guys to comprehend it. I know that you guys are smart. Okay. I know y'all are brilliant. I know y'all are able to keep up. Okay. I know that you guys are, but a lot of times, a lot of this information is heavy. Okay. And it can be kind of confusing, but when you go and you read the Walker F. Todd affidavit, you'll read it and you'll realize like, wow, these people really are crooks. They really do be trying to get over on you, and you got to do the best you can to protect yourself. Look up one thing. Okay. So look up House Joint Resolution. Look up lawful money, legal tender. Look up the difference between the two, and look up discount house, and look up private banker. Look up all these things, okay? And these things are still things you can do today, right? You can still do discount housing. You can still do private banking. Are they going to be happy about the private banking? Just so you know, some people, if they don't understand it, they won't be happy about it. But all government institutions plus the banking system understands private banking. They understand that you can be a private banker, that you can write negotiable instruments, and you can have those things satisfied and cured, right? It just depends on who you're doing business with. It's up to them to receive it or not. You understand what I'm saying? Because what you're using for dollar bills, those are IOUs, y'all. Those are IOUs. They don't hold any intrinsic value. It's just IOU. It's just a piece of paper. That's all it really is. And you got people that literally lost their child behind a piece of paper. Piece of paper. That's all it is. It ain't gold or silver. You understand what I'm saying? It's a piece of paper that literally is on a thin line. It's teeter-tottering between a fence of success and failure. Literally. At any point, that it could weigh on one side, and next thing you know, that whole dollar bill is it's going to implode on itself. It's going to disappear. You're going to see money lying in the street, like it spoke about, it prophesied about money lying in the street, right? Well, the time is going to be coming where you're going to see that. You're going to see dollar bills, $100 bills. You understand what I'm saying? All in the street. We're going to be moving to a digital currency. You're going to see that. You're going to witness that with your own eyes. A lot of people will probably just start using it as toilet tissue, but it's going to collapse because it's weak. It's always been weak. The only thing that made it strong is our military. Okay. That's all. Only thing that made it strong. Oh man, am I back? What's going on? Yeah, I just dropped out. Here, let me what was I, yo? Man, my bad, y'all. Yeah. If I'm back, if anybody, come on, y'all still up in this joint, drop a 7 in the chat, you know. Yeah, I dropped out for a second. But here, let me put it in here real quick and we're gonna end this live stream. Oh shit. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Hallelujah. Hey, lawful money. There we go. Lawful money. We're gonna go lawful money. We're gonna go legal tender. There's a law that pertains. It's tripping out again. Okay, I'm back. My bad. I know I just coughed now, but it's been really helping. Let's see. Legal tender, lawful money, legal tender. What else we got? Lawful money, legal tender. 12 USC 411. That's something else that I'm going to want to pull up real quick. 12 USC. This right here is another big thing. USC 411. 411. Let's pull that up here too. Okay. And banking holiday. I better hurry up. Banking holiday. Look up banking holiday. And it should bring you to the situation that happened when they asked all of America to turn in their gold and silver certificates on April 1st. And it was sold by June 5th. And that's when they stopped the currency of gold, right? Now, silver was still being able to be traded all the way up to 1967, where, you know, at that point, they stopped silver from being able to be used as currency, okay? They used it all the way up. They used silver as a form of currency all the way up till 1967. Then they stopped it. You know why? I don't know. I guess they weren't being able to tax enough off of silver or gold. So it wasn't the money system didn't allow the government to grow. That's the reason why we got hit with that Great Depression. And when our products and goods and services, things that we needed to build homes and all of that stuff wasn't coming in for trade because our intergovernmental system was broke as shit. They didn't have no money. They were broke. They didn't have no money, so they couldn't trade. They couldn't get the proper resources, right? So they had to set up a new system. Okay, hold up. All right, I'm about to, because I want to be sure. Here we go. All right, so that should be it right there. Right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pull up 12 USC 411. I want you guys to read this, and then we're going to end this live on that note, because this is crazy. This is interesting to see, right? Is what they're talking about, what this law is in 12 USC 411, y'all. This law, 12 USC 411, still applies, and it has not been removed. So it still applies. Okay, what we doing, y'all? Here we go. Okay, let's see what we got there. I'm gonna share it with y'all now. So 12 USC 411 is crazy. And this is another thing that helped me out tremendously, because by law, I was doing and conducting business the way that I was supposed to, by law. Okay. Now, in this one right here, it says Federal Reserve Note. Federal Reserve Note to be issued at the discretion of the Board of Governors. Okay. Now, this right here, I'm gonna show you. Insurance to receiver banks, right? This is something that banks need to receive. Nature of obligation and redemption, right? Not going to tell you much when you're reading this title, but it's telling me a lot, because this is what they are supposed to do to receive any form of currency within the international banks, within any banking system that you go to. Wells Fargo, Bank of America. They are supposed to conduct themselves the same way. Now, you'll be surprised what they consider to be a bank. All right. So you'd have to look up the general definition of bank once you go and you take a look at the UCC. Yeah, I'm gonna go UCC as well. UCC, and then you can choose. I believe it's 1-201. I believe that is general definitions. General definitions. Okay. I believe that UCC is general definitions for 1-201. So y'all go check it out. We can probably look it up here soon, but understand what a uniform commercial code is too, right? But this it right here. Reserve agents I think I'm back, y'all. I think I'm back once again. Like I said, I'm having some technical difficulties. I believe they're working on the internet right now. The coaxial cables or something. It must be working on the nodes around an area or something like that. So I believe I'm back. Let me do this, okay? Let me share this back up. All right, we're currently in 12 USC 411, okay? 12 USC 411, which is the main takeaway from this USC, right? This the main takeaway. You need to understand what lawful money is, okay? So we're going to read from here, right? the said notes, okay, and they're talking about Federal Reserve notes in this particular one. The Federal Reserve, right, agents as hereinafter set forth and for no other purpose are authorized, okay? The said notes shall be obligations of the United States and shall be receivable, okay, receivable by all national and member banks, okay, and Federal Reserve banks, and for all taxes, customs, and other public dues. They shall be redeemed for lawful money. They shall be redeemed for lawful money. I said they should be redeemed for lawful money on demand at the Treasury Department, okay, of the United States in any city, right, in the city of Washington, the District of Columbia, or any Federal Reserve bank, okay? So when these people are taking your mortgage contract that you signed and they take it to a Federal Reserve bank and they cash that mortgage contract in for money, okay? They cash it in for credit, for lawful money to pay off your mortgage. This is what they're doing. This is a note, right? They didn't say Federal Reserve notes. They said the set notes. So any note that's being drafted, anything that's being tendered to the Federal Reserve, anything, they have to receive it on their books as an asset. They have to receive it on their books as an asset to their books. And it is something that is obligations of the United States. These are all obligations of the United States, okay? And the reason why they're obligations of the US is because when they enacted HJR, they took all your gold and silver from you, okay? Brother Yoga, I already know he know a lot about this. They took all your gold and silver from you. And this is the reason why they're obligated to these things, okay? The United States is obligated to these things to receive what you have. Now, this is what we're supposed to be doing, though. It's supposed to be tendered with lawful money, and that's not being done. So you got to understand that's one of the biggest things that they're failing at is lawful money, the lawful money aspect. They're not giving out lawful money. They're giving out legal tender, okay? They're not doing anything else outside of that. They're giving out legal tender. They're giving out credit, okay? And that's about it, all right? And so that's one of the balls where they're failing to fulfill is lawful money, okay? So like I said, we gotta research a lot of these things to have a proper understanding of our intergovernmental system and the banking aspect of it, because this is fractional reserve banking, okay? This is quantitative easing. This is it's fraudulent at best. I promise you. All of this whole thing is fraudulent at best. If I were to come and do this right here, they would try to throw me in prison. Because you can do exactly what they do, the intergovernmental system and how the banking system work. You can do it from your front porch. You can do it from your living room, y'all. This is how simple this is. It's very simple, but there is no tangible assets. You can literally just do things out of thin air. That's the reason why you can do it from your front porch or your living room. You can literally just print shit out and just give it to people as currency. And whoever receives it as value onto their books, that's who receives it. You understand what I'm saying? But this is literally how ridiculous our money system is. It has no intrinsic value. It's not backed by any gold or silver. Okay. No assets. Okay. It's just printed out of thin air, pieces of paper, IOUs. Okay. Federal Reserve notes. Right. And not only that, it's contracts. Contract is law in our society. So contracts is a form of currency. It's a form of money. Your license plate on the back of your vehicle is a credit card. It's a credit card. Whenever you go through a toll, it scans that license plate and it charges you money. Due to the Uniform Commercial Code general definitions, a license plate is a credit card. You look up a credit card and you go to general definitions for Uniform Commercial Code, it's going to say a license plate, okay? It's going to tell you a license plate. It's going to tell you a driver's license is a credit card. All these things are credit cards, okay? So understanding how our system is working, you're going to understand why it's going to collapse, but you're also going to understand how to properly utilize it before it actually does collapse. You got to understand how to properly work through it. Those are some of the things that we need to start with. Uniform Commercial Code, reading this for understanding, okay, and all of that. So that's quite a bit of information to share. I might go over some of these other things as well. Like I did touch on HJR, House Joint Resolution 192. We'll touch on some other things. Maybe I'll have Brother Yoga come through here and talk about a couple things if he's willing to. I know that he said he likes to keep it on the hush, on the down low. But these right here, the things that I'm introducing to you right now is just the starter pack. This is the basics, of what you need to understand when you're moving through and how the banking system truly works. We're gonna have to get into trust and estate and how to properly form trust and estate. Now, that's something else that really the saints really need to know. The people really need to know. But first, we need to understand how to properly move, what money is, what all of this stuff, what our system is, what's true, what's false. We need to go through all of those things, peel back the layers of all those things, and then be able to know how to truly properly set things up, right? So we armed with knowledge. Not only we're armed with knowledge, but now we're going to be armed with the physical things that we need to take advantage of what we need to take advantage of through trust and having and forming our own estates, right? And this is going to be a fun process, y'all. I think I'm going to turn this to a whole series because just breaking this down to you guys here was enjoyable. I enjoyed introducing a lot of this information to y'all. Is there any questions? Because I'm about to shut it down here in a little bit. I'm going to throw it out there. Any questions? Anybody want to come on and talk about anything? I can drop the link. In fact, I'm going to invite you on if you'd like to say something in regards to this. You can ask your question live or you can drop it in the chat. Okay. We'll give you a couple minutes to be able to do so. If not, we're going to sign out, y'all. We're going to sign out and go ahead and, like I said, the message sent is coming on live at around 6 p.m. Central time. Okay. So 6 p.m. Central. So you guys tune in to what he got going on over there as well. It should be a really good one, y'all. Let's see. Let's see if I can get his link as well. Okay. Like I said, I'm gonna give you guys a couple minutes if you want to ask a question about this, or if you want to click the link to join, you can click the link to join in regards to the topic, and we can be able to have a quick conversation about it. Appreciate y'all joining me here today. This was really last minute. It was out the blue. Some just told me, Holy Spirit just told me like, hey, jump on there and talk about this. And then that led into this. So it's like now we're introducing some really solid information for you guys to really be armed with. Really be armed with, because you're going to get a lot from that. Thank you for the information and knowledge. We'll look up in print. Hallelujah. Yes, man. Absolutely. All praises to Yah. Hallelujah. Yeah, definitely look them up. Do your due diligence, look them up, get the knowledge under your belt, and it's going to be, you're going to really enjoy, like if you don't have a thorough understanding where our money is actually coming from, how it started, like what's going on. This right here is the starter pack that's going to tell you all about it, all the intricate details on how money truly is what it is, which it holds no intrinsic value. Honestly, it's supposed to be temporary. They're supposed to only use it for a short period of time. Now it's our standard form of currency, and they just kept your gold and silver and never gave it back to the people, right? That's why they're obligated to these notes. That's where their obligations is to whatever we will ask them to do, because they still owe us that gold and silver that they took. They never gave that back. So, okay, I believe I'm just looking for this link here. I'm going to drop this link. And then we're going to go from there. Boom, boom, boom. Let me drop this link real quick. All right. Yeah, so Malcolm X is probably one of my guys who who's been like an influence on my life as well. Excuse me, guys. Who's been an influence on my life. So I believe they're going to be talking about an interview with Malcolm X, right? And you guys definitely need to tune in. I'm gonna drop the link here so you guys can go and hit the notification. That's for his channel. That's the message sent. And then you guys go ahead and tune in. Malcolm X is one of my guys, so so I'm definitely looking forward to hearing their perspective on that as well. Other than that, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here, y'all. I really appreciate you guys tuning in for today. Like I said, it was very spontaneous. You know, I like to keep mine on the schedule and give you guys notice. But hallelujah, you guys were able to make it and you're able to rock it out with me, and we were able to go ahead and get some real solid information out. All right. Without further ado, don't forget to like this video. All right. Comment and subscribe, and holler at your boy. You already know we're gonna be flocking on Sunday. So come on, flock with me, y'all. Let's go ahead and have a really good conversation. Other than that, the host, we out. Peace and shalom, y'all.